Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we're looking at one exotic that got a pretty big rework with Heresy's launch. Verity's Brow, an extremely strong exotic that saw niche use due to its fairly restrictive nature, has been reworked to have near infinite uptime on its benefits, with a lot more of that time spent near the maximum. Also, both the exotic itself and the exotic class item variant received this change, meaning my hunters and titans are also benefiting from this rework. So in this video, we're going to look at its new performance and answer the question, should we be using it? Also, there are timestamps down below if you want to check out any specific part of the video, and while you're down there, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next upload. Now to begin, let's just break down the exotic itself and its class item trait so we understand how Verity's actually works now. The perk reads, weapon final blows with a damage type matching a grenade grant death throws, which provide a grenade damage bonus and grant you grenade energy. When you have death throws and throw a grenade, nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time. Now the perk in action has seen a massive increase in ease of use. Once you get a weapon kill using the same energy type as your grenade, a death throws meter appears on screen. Each kill you get will increase this meter by 1 bar up to the max of 5. Now the main function of this meter and the way Verity's works now is that you get to keep stacks with the meter decaying over time. Previously, once you ran out of time, you had to rebuild everything. Now, as you can see, you're essentially always going to be hovering around max stacks due to us keeping lower ones and easily returning to max stacks with just 1 or 2 kills. One thing that came from this though is the decay rate for each stack is variable. For instance, you'll lose the 5th meter in just 4 seconds, but you'll lose the 1st meter in 8. So as your stacks decay, it takes longer and longer to lose the next one. And if you were curious, it takes 29 seconds to go from max to nothing. Okay, so we know how this new meter works, but what are the benefits? Well, the main benefit we get from Verity's is increased grenade damage. We can see this in effect here with no stacks. Our storm grenade hits for 23,500 damage. And then if we get to max stacks, we deal 47,000 damage, which is a clean 100% increase in damage. Also, a tip on gaining those stacks, replaying the clip here, as long as you're any bit within a meter section, a kill will refill that and send you to the next. So you can technically get 2 meters in 1 kill. But now back to what we get for having death throws, we also get increased grenade regen. It's not a lot, and admittedly it's very hard to see, but at max stacks we get a bonus 2.5 energy per second. And the first meter we get 0.5% per second. But to wrap it all up nicely, here's the benefits of each stack, and I'll leave that on screen for just a moment so you can pause if you're looking for more info. Now then, the last portion of Verity's is the increased grenade regen for allies. This is a wild 10 times increase for 5 seconds, which leads to one cracked combo being just 2 Verity's warlocks holding hands and creating an infinite loop of grenades. With that aside, we now want to know what differences exist between the base exotic and the class item variant. The exotic mainly works the exact same, there's just 2 things to note. One is that the increased grenade regen for allies doesn't exist, and increased grenade regen per stack is slightly decreased. Here's the same graphic, but these are the numbers for the class item. Each stack's grenade regen is 50% of what the main exotic grants, but we still get the plus 100% damage. Again, I'll give you a second to look at that if you want to pause. But now then, what I really want to do in this video is showcase some combos that exist with this exotic and other class item traits. But before that, I think it's worth doing a quick discussion on how good the base exotic is now. The main thing that matters is what you pair with it. For example, you can toss nuclear bombs if you're running fusion grenades. If you're running something that doesn't really kill, I don't think going for just the grenade regen is a great idea. But if you are interested in more lethal grenades, Verity's is way easier to use for that purpose. Being able to keep up increased damage and slight increased regen gives it more spammability. You can kind of just toss a grenade without needing to play the old minigame of kill 5 enemies, then throw your grenade. Now it's usually just 1 or 2 or none at all, and then you throw. So my conclusion on base Verity's is it's not bad. It's a fun loop, I just wish it regened a bit more energy. With that said though, the real spectacle and juice comes from the other sandbox tools we can use in tandem with Verity's, as well as its exotic class variant. One example is the exotic class combo of Inmost plus Verity's, and that is a fantastic starting point. This is a role that can be found on every class, as both of these perks are class agnostic. Spirit of Inmost increases our grenade regen by 400% when we use a melee or class ability, and then 800% when we use both other abilities. That, paired with the slight grenade regen from Verity itself, allows us to get a pretty good loop going. Another combo I wish I had is Osmiomancy plus Verity's on Warlock specifically, as that gives you your grenade back just for dealing damage with the grenade. But where things get actually very good and worth putting into a loadout, I'd say, is when you start combining a combo like that, one of the two I just mentioned, with subclass tools like Devour. With Devour granting grenade energy on any kill, Spirit of Inmost giving us up to 800% increased regen, you can start throwing grenades after just 2 kills. If I were to shout out one combination of stuff, it would probably be this. Honestly, this combo is more similar to a build rather than just an exotic, seeing as you do have to use your prismatic subclass. But I'm mentioning it for a reason because it is actually quite potent. And this is also what the B-roll you've been seeing has been. However, there's another incredibly strong tool that we can pair with Verity, being the Demolitionist perk. Having your main weapon with Demolitionist means you get increased grenade damage and grenade energy off of every kill, which then turns it into a pretty self-sustaining loop. But of course, you can double up that with Devour for some massive energy gains and the increased damage. I'm sure just me saying it out loud, you can understand how powerful that synergy actually is. And I think plainly, those are just the best combos. But the pattern I've noticed while testing this exotic out is that you really have to invest into grenade regen. Whether it's the base exotic or the class item, you gotta have sources of grenade regen or you lose a lot of value due to the current Verity's pretty lackluster amount of bonus regen. All prismatic subclasses, especially warlocks, have the easiest way to get that regen with Devour and other class item perks. We run into an issue of, is it even worth it? The prismatic subclasses don't have the most lethal grenade, being fusion grenade. Titans have thermite and pulse grenades, hunters have magnetic, and warlocks get storm grenade, but these grenades dealing double damage, is it worth total investment into pretty much just that? For this spectacle, a Verity class item was fun because of the amount of grenades you can throw on a prismatic warlock. But is that a good build? I'm not so sure. When I ran base solar with fusion nades, I at least felt like I was throwing nukes, which in turn felt more valuable to me. But then at the same time with that build, why not just run Starfire Protocol? So in final conclusion, Verity's is good. It's better, I think, than its old version, but power creep does exist, and I believe there to be much better builds out there. If you got some of the class item combos I've mentioned today, I still would recommend to try it out. You might find yourself enjoying the very high damaging grenades and better uptime, but if you don't try it out, I don't think you're gonna miss all that much. And I think that's everything I wanted to say in this video. Thank you so much for getting this far. Your viewership means an absolute ton. If you want to support me and support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription goes a very long way. If you really want to support the channel, you can join as well, but that is totally optional. If you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't think of a comment down below Verities. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.